She's playing with her favorite ball and can't imagine anything more fun. Polly has never been in water before. She's afraid she might get wet, but the ducks look like they're having so much fun, she can't help but want to join them. Polly takes a deep breath and wades into the water. It's freezing cold, and she quickly regrets her decision. Polly wants to go home and dry off, but she doesn't want to admit that she's scared. She tries to be brave and stay in the water, but she's not having any fun. Just then, one of the ducks notices Polly struggling in the water. The duck swims over and asks what's wrong. Polly explains that she wants to have fun, but she's just not very good at swimming. The duck smiles and says, "Don't worry, I'll teach you." And with that, the duck dives under the water and reappears with a bright red life buoy in its beak. The duck hands the life buoy to Polly and says, "This will help you float and keep your head above the water." Polly takes the life buoy and puts it on. It's a perfect fit. Polly feels a little bit more confident now that she has the life. She thanks the duck and takes a deep breath and wades back into the water. This time, Polly feels a lot better. She lets the water flow over her body and closes her eyes. It's actually kinda nice to be wet. Polly opens her eyes and looks around. The life buoy is keeping her head above the water, and she can see everything around her. She watches as the other ducks swim by and takes a deep breath. Maybe this won't be so bad after all. The duck from before swims up to Polly and asks how she's doing. Polly tells the duck that she's feeling a lot better now that she has the life. The duck smiles and says, "I knew you could do it." Polly thanks the duck for helping her and asks if she can join them for a swim. The duck nods and says, "Of course." Polly joins the other ducks in the pond and they all swim around together. Polly is having the time of her life. She splashes water on the other ducks, and they splash back. They play until Polly's feathers are all wet and she's shivering with cold. She thanks the ducks for a fun afternoon and says goodbye. As Polly walks away, she can't stop smiling. She had so much fun swimming with the ducks, and she can't wait to do it again next week. It was such a fun day. Polly decided to take a little nap. She snuggled up in her tree and closed her eyes. When she opened them again, she saw a big puddle on the ground below her. Polly couldn't resist. She had to go check it out. She flew down to the puddle and took a closer look. It was a perfect little pool for a parrot to splash around in. Polly took a deep breath and jumped right in. The water was cool and refreshing on Polly's hot feathers. She splashed around in the puddle for hours, having the time of her life. Suddenly, Polly heard some footsteps near the puddle. She froze and hoped that whatever was coming would go away soon. But then she heard a familiar voice. It was the duck from the pond. The duck looked around for Polly, but she was nowhere to be seen. Polly tried to hide at the bottom of the puddle, but the duck kept looking. Finally, Polly couldn't take it anymore. She popped her head out of the water and said, "Quack, quack!" The duck turned around and saw Polly in the puddle. He was so happy to see her. "I was looking all over for you," he said. "I thought you might want to come swimming with me and my friends." Polly smiled and said, "I was just getting changed." The duck laughed and said, "Well, hurry up, we're waiting for you." So Polly quickly changed into her bathing suit and headed over to the pond with the duck. When Polly arrived at the pond, all of her favorite ducks were there. They were so excited to see her. "We were wondering where you were," said one of the ducks. "We were getting worried," added another. Polly apologized for being late and said she would never miss a swimming day again. The ducks were just happy to have her back. They all swam around together and played until Polly had to go home. She was exhausted but happy. She had so much fun swimming with her new friends. As Polly drifted off to sleep that night, she dreamed of swimming in a big blue ocean with her favorite ducks. She couldn't wait to go swimming again tomorrow. Polly the parrot was so excited. Today was the day she was going to learn how to swim. She had been watching the ducks in the park for weeks, and she was jealous of their ability to float on the water. Polly had never been in water before, but she was determined to give it a try. She found a small puddle near her tree and took a deep breath. She jumped into the puddle and immediately regretted her decision. The water was freezing cold, and Polly didn't have anyone to help her. She panicked and flapped her wings, but she only managed to spray water all over herself. Polly quickly climbed out of the puddle and shook herself dry. She wasn't sure if she wanted to try swimming again anytime soon. Just then, Polly heard some footsteps near the puddle. She froze and hoped whoever was coming wouldn't see her. But then she heard a familiar voice. "Hello there, Polly." It was the duck from the pond. Polly tried to hide, but the duck was already there. "I saw you jump in the puddle. Are you trying to learn how to swim?" Polly nodded shyly. "Well, I can help you," said the duck. "I and my friends love to swim in the pond. You can join us." Polly was hesitant, but she really wanted to learn how to swim. She took a deep breath and followed the duck to the pond. When Polly arrived at the pond, she saw the most beautiful sight. There were 5 little ducks swimming around in the water. They were so cute, and Polly couldn't help but smile. "Hi, Polly," said one of the ducks. "We've been waiting for you." The other ducks nodded. "We're gonna teach you how to swim?" said another. Polly was so grateful. She thanked the ducks and waded into the water. It was so cold that Polly almost screamed. The ducks noticed and immediately swam over to her. "Are you okay?" they asked. "It's just really cold," Polly replied. "Don't worry, we'll help you get used to it." And with that, the ducks started to swim around Polly in circles. They were so fast and graceful in the water, and Polly couldn't help but admire them. "Now watch," said one of the ducks. Polly watched as the duck took a big deep breath and dove under the water. It was amazing. Polly wanted to do that too. "Can I try?" she asked. "Of course," replied the duck. "Just take a deep breath and relax." Polly took a deep breath and jumped into the water. She tried to dive like the duck, but she only managed to get her feathers wet. The ducks laughed and said, "It's okay, you'll get it next time." Polly was disappointed, but she knew they were right. She just needed more practice. So Polly stayed in the water and practiced diving over and over again. The ducks cheered her on, and Polly felt like she was part of the team. Suddenly, Polly felt something strange. She was floating. She was so surprised that she didn't even try to dive and just let herself float. The ducks noticed and swam over to Polly. "You're floating," they exclaimed. "Good job, Polly." Polly was so happy. She had finally done it. She thanked the ducks and continued to float. In the water, Polly stayed in the water for hours. She played with the ducks, floated and swam. She had never felt so free and happy. As the sun began to set, Polly knew it was time to go home. She said goodbye to the ducks and swam back to her tree. Polly couldn't stop thinking about how much fun she had. She couldn't wait to go back to the pond and see her new friends. From that day on, Polly the parrot loved to spend her days swimming with the 5 little ducks. They were the best of friends, and Polly was so happy she had learned how to swim. The end.